dismissed every accomplishment I've made. You've talked about my father. Well, you call me an entitled millennial, I call you a carny succubus, because the dirty secret about you, the dirty secret is you need this generation more than it needs you.
What up, y'all? It's KNB the Sexy Ninja in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. We're talking about NXT, May 20th, 2025. Vic, Booker, and Corey on commentary. This is the go-home show for Battleground in Tampa. A lot to build towards this pay-per-view or PLE, whatever you want to call it. We started off with Javon Evans versus Sean versus Ashanti in a crazy-ass match. Ricky Saints is on commentary. I mean, this was an insane way to start the show. The battle of these three. But Ethan attacks Ricky. Javon gets distracted and jumps over the ropes onto Ricky and Ethan with the security and everything like that. And all of a sudden, Sean got the big win here. And I was like, whoa. All right. I see how this goes. All right. Let's rock and roll. Let's start this show in chaos, man. And I believe Ethan is taking on Ricky Saints at Battleground. I believe that's the case. If it's not the case, then I'm wrong, because I do have the card written down. LFG finalists, Tyra and Jasper, right into the thick of things, and they get their contracts. If you haven't been watching LFG, it's a competitive show. Who's going to be given an NXT contract and everything like that, and these are the two that won. And this just happened this past Sunday. So they're on NXT now. And Jasper says, I'm going to make a big wave here. I'm going to shock some people. And he does later on in the show. So we'll get to that. But yeah, they ain't messing around with these LFG folks, man. They ain't messing around at all. What's funny is my wife's like, I wonder who's going to win. And I was like, I just got to be Jasper, because he showed up on the show like a couple weeks ago with Undertaker and whatnot, in front of Oba. So, but I'm excited to see where they're going to go with these two. Josh versus Sean Spears. Of course, Sean gets the win. He's got his cult there, his buddies, his homies. They get in a fight afterwards, and then after they start beating down, here comes Hank and Tank to scare Sean's crew away. Then we get Chase U, a reformed Chase U, I guess, versus OTM out the mud. OTM are some beasts. And they get the win. Then we get Miles and Oba. Really great, interaction with these two. Miles, he's the underdog here. We're going to root for him. I'm rooting for Oba because I love Oba, Femi. But Oba's going to be like, all right, bitch, we're going to do this. All right, me and you. But Jasper attacks Oba. Talking about making an impact on your first night, first night here. All right. Jasper attacks Oba. Huge, man. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with that. Then we have Lola Vice versus Fallon Henley. And JC Jane trying to cause a distraction, but it didn't work out for Fallon, and Lola got the win. I was like, Lola, my girl. Let's get Lola back on top. Because I love Lola. Stephanie package, because she has her match with Jordan Grace this Sunday. But yeah, like I said, this is a lot of building. Kalani versus Zarya. Soul, out there constantly. Soul's taking on Kalani at Battleground, but Kalani gets the win over Zarya. Sorry, Zarya. Soul's like, no, my friend. And we end this show with I believe in Joe. He sings. It's a song. Trick don't like that song, because in the moment he's being called Mello's bitch. Oh, man. But Joe Hendry and Trick will battle at Battleground for the TNA World Championship. That's insane. But Joe sings. We listen. Trick comes out. Of course, they're going to get in a big fight. And freaking Joe lays that guitar in the Trick's knee. And that's the way we end it. Joe on top. and that is NXT May 20th, 2025. Vic Booker and Corey on commentary. Match of the night has to be Javon versus Sean versus Ashanti because it got insane. Moment of the night is Jasper, LFG Jasper attacking Oba. And second to that is Joe Hendry. I love Joe Hendry concerts. Who doesn't love Joe Hendry concerts? But I give this show a solid 3.5 out of 5. Good build to Battleground. And we're going to talk about Battleground real quick. Let me move that out of the way. We're going to talk about my picks and predictions for the show. And at the moment, I did not write down when I updated this card this morning for Ricky or Ethan Page for the North American Championship. We're not going by any order. We're just going to go how I written the card on up. And I'm going to pick who's going to win. Do we move on with storylines? What's going to go on here? Or is this kind of like just the end of it? A lot of like 4 championships are on the line. We go with Josh, Hank, and Tank versus the Culling. I think the Culling is going to get the win. And we're going to continue this feud between these groups. Well, Hank and Tank is a tag team, and they got the tag team championships. I think the Culling is coming after their tag team championship, so we could see that happening too as well. Josh is just there. I was like, where's his homie too? Tony versus Stax. I believe this will end in chaos, and Stax will find a way to win over Tony. And this ain't over. This is building to some extreme match. You know, something in the streets or whatever, in the parking lot. Something, this is too personal to be just a one-off. So Tony and Stax is going to continue, but I feel like Stax is going to get the win. NXT North American Championship, Sol Ruka versus Kalani Jordan. Sol's going to retain. Just that feeling. It's pretty much my call for all of it. I think Kalani Jordan is going to go to the back of the line, and we're going to find it. I think it's building up to Sol and Zariah. Their relationship's going to fall apart here, and Zariah is going to go after Sol, her bestie. TNA Championship, Joe versus Trick. There ain't no way we're exchanging the TNA Championship here on WWE TV. Are we? Because I'm picking Joe to retain that championship, and he's going to be a fighting champion. I don't see Trick winning it. Hopefully this is like the end of Trick's time in NXT, and he goes up to the main roster finally. You know, I feel like he's now a big fish in a little pond. Not that NXT's a little pond. I just feel like it's time for Trick to move on. NXT Championship, Stephanie versus Jordan Grace. I picked Stephanie to retain, but with how fast they moved Julia up to the main roster, God, I feel like Jordan Grace could dethrone Stephanie here, and Stephanie could move on to the main roster, but I'm saying she's going to retain. And that's the fun thing about this, is like I like being surprised with pay-per-views and everything, PLEs, whatever you want to call them. I'm excited about being wrong. So Stephanie's going to retain against Jordan. Or Jordan's going to take it, and then she's going to be the new face of the women's division, and Stephanie's going to move on like Julia has, and then Julia is now on the SmackDown roster. NXT Championship, Oba versus Miles. No offense to Miles. I think he's going to put up one hell of a fight. I think Oba's going to bring it too. There ain't no way Oba's losing that championship, man. And Jasper has to attack him again. And what's the next NXT? It's going to be Jasper's going to get his match against Oba. Could be on TV. It could be at the next PLE. We'll see. But Oba and Jasper, their futures are going to collide, and it's going to involve the NXT Championship. Yeah. But poor Miles, I don't see him winning this. But that's it. That's all. That's Battleground 2025. As of now, card subject to change. We all know that. Those are my picks and predictions for the PLE. The show. I'm just going to say the show itself. I'm excited for the show. Now we're going to go on to, we got a full weekend, man. SmackDown, Collision, Saturday Night Main Event, Double or Nothing, Battleground. Lots of wrestling this weekend. And it's Memorial Day weekend, I believe. So a lot of stuff going down this weekend. Let's go, Dan! But that's it. That's all. Drop them in the comments below. Tell me what you think of my picks and predictions. What is yours? Drop them in the comments, okay? And rate this show. Give it a 20 stars if that's possible. All right, y'all. But that's it. That's all. Like and subscribe. Share it. Grab the bum down to Walmart. I am KMB the Sexy Ninja. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life. Brother.
The sounds of I Believe in Joe Hendry at the end of Battleground.